Welcome everyone to episode 3 of Footnotes.
Welcome everyone to episode 3 of Footnotes. Today we're going to be discussing the Black Cauldron. God damn it. We're going to be discussing the Black Cauldron. I just spilled my drink. Which was released when? In 1985.
Yes.
Which actually, I thought it was released earlier than that, but that makes sense. First impressions of this movie?
Well, as children, I enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it?
I watched it when I was like 9, and even then I thought it was rubbish.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. There are moments where it's cool, and then there are moments where it's just weird. And then there are moments where, and then there's a lot of moments where it's just annoying.
Well, I think that can be done well.
The best thing about the movie is probably the Horned King, right?
Right. And the awesome friendship between the
Horned King and the Creeper.
Heroes.
No, you're thinking of something else, huh? Yeah? You think so?
Yes.
Well, there's no... It's at that weird point where there's no, like, subtlety. Like usually even with modern Disney movies, there's some amount of subtlety with the message that it's trying to give.
Yes.
There's no subtlety here, right? It's just like, because from the very first scene, our protagonist Taran is like, I want to be a knight, and I deserve to be a knight, right? Like, the thing he wants to be is a great warrior, right?
Yes.
And then that's the reason for everything bad that happens, because he's like daydreaming when the pig gets captured by the wyverns, and then like later on he acts arrogant towards the other characters because he believes he deserves to be a knight, and then he realizes it's like a Lord of the Rings type lesson where he's like, oh, simplicity is better. Like living a simple life off the land is better than being a warrior.
It's definitely not subtle. That's one of the things it isn't.
No, that's
but
one
as
of the
we
things
learned,
it is not.
As we learned from Detroit Become Human, we don't need subtlety.
Yes, you do. Well, you don't always need subtlety. If you're producing a punk album, then you don't need subtlety. But you might want some subtlety if you're making like a literal fairy tale. Otherwise it just becomes, well, because if you can guess what the moral is from like the first few scenes, then you're just like waiting for the protagonist to figure it out. Like it should be a little.
That must be really annoying. I know what that's like.
It should be a little harder than that. It shouldn't be so obvious. I understand they're making it for kids, but kids are smart. They can figure that stuff out.
I mean, you figured it out.
That's right. And as well, like that's not even the most annoying part. The most annoying part is the character of Dalby, who...
Dobby?
Dobby?
You mean Gurgie?
Gurgie? Okay, I named it after the elf from Harry Potter. Also known as Gremlin. No, the...
Gollum. all those characters.
Yeah, they're pretty much.
Jar Jar.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. No, don't even. That's not even in the same category.
Okay, so he is worse than Jar Jar.
What? Gurgie?
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say he is. Well, I mean, the annoying fact. I mean, Jar Jar Binks being annoying is something that's a meme at this point. It's exaggerated beyond like reality.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Gurgie is pretty annoying, like on that same level of like Danny from The Room. Like he's just there.
Denny.
Denny. Yeah. Okay. He's just there, and he at the end, I guess it is kind of sweet that he like kills himself to save them. But
it's because he's annoying that he has the guilt that inspires him to kill.
Well, but he can have guilt over something without that being guilt of being annoying. Well, because there are moments where he steals an apple from Taran, and Taran's like, "You despicable creature," and then like Gertie's like, "Yes, I am a despicable creature," like Gollum, like. So like I guess that's what they were going for, but like it's a weird juxtaposition because he has the baby voice, and then like it just doesn't work. Like that character could have done something awful and been guilty about that instead of being a not great character.
So what should that be?
The thing they did.
Yeah.
Well, let's discuss first the parameters of our rewrite. So
Okay.
specifically, we need to do so the Black Cauldron is like it's like if you took I think what I think they were going for is like a dark fantasy,
Yes.
and I'm pretty sure it's like inspired, like it feels like it's inspired by like 1980s D&D. It feels like they wanted to make like a fantasy movie that capitalized on that kind of craze.
Dragon's Lair.
Yeah, sort of. Well, because like the way that's what it feels like. Am I crazy? Because there are moments where it feels like they're ripping off the Lord of the Rings to make this movie. And I guess the Lord of the Rings movies hadn't actually come out yet, so if anything, Peter Jackson ripped them off. But it feels like there are moments where they're like, oh yeah, they're like it feels like at moments it's like Rankin and Bass's. That's not Rankin and Bass. It's God damn it, what's his name? We were talking about it in the first episode, Bashgate. It feels like there are moments where it's like Ralph Bakshi's Lord of the Rings and Hobbit, right?
And
there are moments where it feels like The Last Unicorn, and then there are moments where it feels like a Disney film.
Rankin and Bass is the name of my new production company.
Okay, yeah, sure. So it feels like it's cashing in on the 1980s fantasy revival.
Yes.
I
think who directed it? Who directed it?
Ted Burnham and
Richard Rich.
Richie Rich
Someone's
grew up and
actually
became a
named that.
director. Richie Rich grew up and became a director.
No, Richard Rich is the name of his father.
Oh, I see. Richard
They're
is my
different
father.
names.
You can call me Richie. I just imagine like a 50-year-old Richie Rich with just like a slow slide into middle age obscurity. Okay, but like so they're going. The thing they're going for is dark fantasy, 1980s fantasy revival, dark fantasy, right?
Yes.
But they can't make it too dark because it's a Disney film.
Yeah.
So they have a bunch of lighter stuff in it.
Yeah. And that makes it dissonant.
Yes, that's the part that makes it dissonant. If they wanted to make a dark fantasy animation movie, they should have went whole hog, a la The Last Unicorn. I mean, The Last Unicorn is also it's not like a great movie, but I think the tone is pretty set. Like there's not a moment where it like deviates from the tone. There's the moment where they turn the tree into like a big bosom woman, but it's pretty much the same the whole way through. It's silly and dark, but in a way that
It's also
that
sad.
is linear. Yes, it's very sad. And so you think this should have been sad? Like, do you think they should not have resurrected Gurgie at the end, or if
they shouldn't have resurrected Gurgie.
Yes.
Well, that's a fact. Don't bring Gurgie.
No, well, we can bring him back. He just has to be a better character. It didn't take. You need to reselect. We can bring him back. He just has to be a character worth bringing back. We have to make him a good character, a character that's enjoyable to watch. But what I was going to say is, are we going to use the same like plot structure, basically? Is it going to have the same plot structure, or is it going to be complete, or are we going to change that? Like, how different are we going to make it? Like, I imagine we're bound. We're going to use
no
the
flying
same.
Smurfs.
Okay, so
no witch
sisters. Okay, so you can write. The witches could maybe show up, but we would have to make them creepy, right? Like they could be like blind, or like have like no flying. Well, I like flying.
Blind oracles.
Yeah, they could be like that. Yeah, I think that could be cool.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to do that or no? I mean, if you don't want to, we don't have to.
Yes, we should.
So
But
the witches,
we should make it distinct from the oracles.
So what you're saying is that they should be the three blind. They should be the witches who share an eye from Hercules.
Yes.
And that'll really increase profit margins on the bottom line. I'm waiting
But
for
make it distinct.
I'm waiting for the live action remake of Black Cauldron, guys. It's going to be incredible.
Directed by Peter Jackson.
Directed by Peter Jackson. I mean, actually, I would legitimately watch that. I would want to see like how much they had changed. Because if you were going to remake, I want them to remake this movie and make it better. Like, it wouldn't be nearly as good in live action because the animation is what makes it cool in the first place.
Yeah.
But I would want them to remake it. Anyway, so the witches are they're like the three fates. They spin like
Yes, the
web.
three fates. That's their name.
The witches are the three fates.
But what I was saying is, I think we could make it different, slightly different from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna have the protagonists visit the three fates to figure something out. Fill that in after we've got the basic plot down.
Okay. What do we do with the minstrel? Because he's the second most annoying character.
See, he's the second most annoying character. I think the fairies are the second most annoying character. Actually, the protagonist, Taryn, is probably the second most annoying character. If anything, he's the third most annoying character.
Okay. What do we do with the third
What
most
if
annoying
we take all of them out and it just be the girl? Probably not, right?
Yes.
She has to have someone to talk to. I mean, we can come up with new characters for her to interact
There'll
with.
be Gurgie.
No, why would
Gurgie
we?
and the princess running through the woods,
Why would
saving the world from a skeleton army.
Okay.
90s music.
No, 90s music. Okay, I've got it. Okay. The skeleton army destroys a town. There we go. Takes.
But then Smaug flies
No,
in,
stop it.
and he goes, only I can destroy the... Only I can destroy town.
That's not how Smaug sounds. Smaug sounds like, my claws are spears. My claw. No, that's too.
Elementary, my dear Watson.
So what are we looking at? What are we? What's the plan? What's the basic? So okay, first thing. Who are we keeping, and who are we leaving on the cutting room floor? Are we keeping the minstrel?
No.
Are you sure? I kind of like him.
Okay, what do you like about him?
Well, he's like fumbling, but like he's like sympathetic.
Okay,
Because he's like old and you know he's doing his best, right?
Yeah. What does he do though?
That's a good question. What does he do? He provides some comedic effect.
Well, that isn't the reason for the narrative to keep him.
That's a good point. Okay, so no, yeah, I think you're right. No, if we're gonna make that character, then it's gonna be completely different anyway. No minstrel.
Why is the princess there again?
She's like working at the castle as like a scullery maid, right? And she like carrying out of the dungeon after he gets captured, and the two of them escape through the catacombs.
Okay.
And they discover the magical sword, and free the minstrel, and then they all get out of the castle with the magical sword, and then then they meet Gurgie in the forest.
Why was the princess working as a maid?
She was like enslaved by the king.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Why was she working there? Yeah, I found either this man, I can't find either. The celebration goes Oh, there's a page for Princess Eloweni. Oh, I see. So it's based off a book. That makes sense. She's portrayed long hair.
The Book of Three.
There's a princess in the Disney film. Okay, so she was a princess? I don't understand.
Wait, so the movie The movie is
he said
inspired
it's inspired by
a book called The Book of Three.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at that.
That's the first book in a series of books. It's called The Chronicles of Puritan.
Huh.
Puritan. But we're not adapting
the Chronicles of Prydain.
We're not adapting the Chronicles of
Lloyd Alexander.
Prydain. We're not adapting the Chronicles of Prydain. We're adapting the Black Cauldron. So it's really irrelevant.
Okay. But just for fun.
Okay.
The youth Taron lives at Scaretalbin with his guardians, the ancient enchanter Dalvin, and the farmer and retired soldier Cole. He is dissatisfied with his life and longs to become a great hero like the High Prince Gwydion, due to the threat posed by a warlord known as the Horned King.
See, it's the same thing, kind of. They changed a bunch of stuff, but it's basically the same thing.
Okay.
I don't know how popular those books were. I've never heard of. Well, I've seen the Horned King on the cover of a book before when I was very young.
Wait, when was it written? 1964.
Yup.
Huh.
And adapted in the 80s. And so 21 years later. Was when it was released as a movie.
Okay.
1964 to 1985.
Fantasy wasn't that popular in the 60s, right?
No, like, I think they made a bunch. Well, the thing is, like, I think they made a bunch of fantasy in the 60s. Like, 60s fantasy, I think, is a big thing. But, like, in the 80s was when it like, first, it became, like, more mainstream, I think. Or
right.
At least there was a lot of, like fantasy stuff coming out at that time. That's when Dungeons and Dragons got big. That's when, again, like, all the Bakshi movies and
yeah.
were created, and I think that's what they're trying to capitalize on. And I think that's kind of transparent in how they went about it. So
because of the flying Smurfs.
Yeah, because of the flying Smurfs. Right, the Smurfs was coming out at that time. It was
which is actually a metaphor for the
racism.
clan.
Yes, I know. So first things first. Is there going to be a pig which can predict the location of objects?
That's what he can do?
That's what the pig... Well, that's because he uses the pig to find the Black Cauldron.
Right. And the pig has to be used to sacrifice in the Black Cauldron.
No, the pig... No.
No, I'm pretty sure that happens.
No, the pig survives because the pig is at the end.
Okay, but he was going to do... That's what was going to happen. That's what the Horned King wanted to happen. Right?
Yeah, well, I think you can sacrifice anybody in the cauldron to, like, use its power.
Okay. Well, then never mind.
I think anyone can die inside the cauldron, and it will, like, activate the magic.
And then its toes will grasp at the
ground. Look, the magic of the cauldron is poorly explained in the actual film, alright? No, but is the beginning of the film going to be, we have to get this pig to a safe place so that the Horned King can get it so that he can't find the Black Cauldron?
Well, then, yes.
Yes, okay. So we're keeping that.
Yes. How do we get the pig to be kidnapped without making the character look like an idiot?
What, Perrin?
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty easy. We can do that. Yeah. Okay.
Who knew it was so easy?
Well, because he can get tricked by something that the average person would get tricked by. Or, like, he can do something, and then, like, blame himself for it. Like something can happen, which, okay, so, I got it. So, scene with Taron, traveling in the woods with, what is her name? Henwin? Henwin?
No, wait.
The pig.
Oh, Henwin. That sounds like the right name.
Yeah, for sure it is.
Henwin. Oh, yeah, Henwin.
Traveling in the woods with Henwin and hiding from a patrol of mercenaries working for the Horned King. I've got it, right? Okay, so what if Gurgie is like the Mr. Tumnus of this story?
Mr. Tumnus.
God damn it, Mr. Tumnus. Every time. You don't remember Mr. Tumnus?
Mr. Tumnus.
He's the fawn who gives up.
Yes, I remember all about Mr. Tumnus now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what if he like so what if Taryn?
But I think the traitor trope is overplayed to me. I don't see what we could do with it that's better than anything else. I mean, what do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah. What do you think? You think we could change it, make it better than any other method of the trope? Any other use of the trope? Ezra?
It's just any trope can be used well depending on how you use it.
Okay, but it's been used so much.
What, the concept of people betraying one another? You've grown weary of the concept of there being intrigue.
But the specific way the treachery works, they're convinced by the villain that something good will happen to everyone, and so that's why they turn their backs on the rest of the team.
That's not what this would be at all.
Okay, what would it be?
This would be like he's walking. This would be like he's walking in the woods, and Gurgie like warns him about a troll that's living nearby. Tells him that he knows like a shortcut, right?
Right.
Or like
he was already a minion.
Yeah, I would have it that Gurgie is working for the Horned King at the beginning of the film.
Okay.
He's like probably under threat of death. It could. How about this? So. Or the girl could be working for the Horned King at the beginning.
Because she was enslaved by him.
Okay, so what's her name? God damn it, their names are so hard to remember. Ilion? How's it? Elione. Okay, so Elione stole food from the castle and was sentenced to death. The Horned King offered to not kill her in exchange for her helping him. She finds Taryn while okay, so Taryn starts a farm. Takes the pig through the woods and to the town of Fightshire.
I can see the Shire.
Where he befriends some of the children. And here's, they're gonna die. And here's tale of the
I heard tell of the skeleton army, which was
the
going to be
council
by the Horned King.
The Council of
He's
Leaves.
called the Horned King because he's a king with horns.
And here's tale of the Council of Leaves. She finds Terran.
Unlike the Horny King, who was the previous king, he was not that great.
Jacob, that's inappropriate. All right.
He wasn't a bad king.
That is inappropriate.
He wasn't a good king either.
All right. Well, he's not a king. He's just an evil warlord who's taken over. He owns like a castle. He's not a king. He doesn't rule the kingdom. He just has power. Here's all the Horn King. I guess he's called the Horn King, but he's not like that. I think that's more like a metaphor. Like he's the king of horns. He's like the master of the black arts. He's the emperor of all evil.
Okay. I wanted to talk about that. What is this modern? Does this modern age really want to see another objective villain?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's exactly what people want to see. We don't need to make the Horn King sympathetic at all. He can just be evil.
Okay.
He can be a despicable person, and there can be people surrounding him who may be sympathetic, like Aloni.
Okay.
Aloni, she'll be sympathetic. She will have done bad things, but she'll be a sympathetic character. And there'll be other.
That just doesn't really fit with my philosophy, you know.
You don't believe that there are people in this world who only seek to destroy and corrupt?
I mean, there are, but I don't believe that that can't be changed.
Yeah, but like people like that exist, right? There are dictators in this world.
Yes.
So there you go. That's not unrealistic. It's fine if he has to be super evil if he's going to summon an army of the dead and destroy a town.
Yes. That is, he needs that.
Any Thanos-esque explanation as to his actions will only come off as contrived
and dumb.
He finds
pseudoscientific.
She is captured by bandits while looking for Terran. Terran rescues her. While
different bandits from the bandits that were hired by the Horn King.
No, those are mercenaries.
Oh,
these are two separate groups. Okay. Mercenaries are like guys traveling the land looking for the pig, right, under orders of the Horn King. And the mercenaries are led by Creeper, who is tall and has ruddy gray eyes.
Okay,
who is human sized.
No, I wasn't going to.
What?
I was just going to put an underline on that, and then in bold. There.
And has ruddy gray eyes. Yeah, and he can be like the right hand man. Creeper is the right hand man. Okay, so then Terran unties her while the bandits are drinking, and they escape. She learns about him and the pig at their campsite and steals Penguin while he sleeps. Really? Okay.
I realize Gurgie and Creeper are somewhat similar.
What do you mean? Oh, but in size?
Well, not just in size, also in character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that the character of Creeper needs to become Gurgie.
They're different. They're different halves of the same character. You know.
They're so you could say they're two different sides of the same coin, which has gone out of currency, but is still allowed in some sub-regions of the territories that are held but not considered states under the Constitution.
I was going to say there's Smeagol and Gollum.
Oh. What if Gurgie is Creeper?
Yes.
Right? Like he turns into him on the full moon or something, or
Yes.
Creeper turns into Gurgie on the full moon.
Yes, and that's even more of a motive for him to sacrifice himself because he's just going to turn back into Creeper.
So Creeper is not the leader of is not like the evil right hand man who leads.
No, he is, but he has a dark secret, darker than the skeleton army.
Where he turns into a fluffy creature.
Yes.
That seems like it would not fit in with the story that we're currently writing.
Well, I wanted it to stay dissonant. Because I think that's a good idea. Because I like dissonance.
Yeah.
You don't want that?
Well, there can be silly parts, but like I don't know how that fits in with the actual plot. Like how is that?
It's both dark and funny. You know?
Right, but it can be funny and not be that.
So
I'm just not sure where that's.
Are we disposing of the Creeper is Gurgie thing?
Probably. Well, if you really like it, we can do that, but we have to come up with a reason. Like, how does that change the plot?
Changes the plot.
Because if you
they can't be in the same room.
Right. Because if he only transforms temporarily, then like when is that? Then like how many scenes is he going to be Gurgie in? And then like. If it's like Gurgie temporarily transforms into Creeper, then like when is that? How many scenes is that going to be relevant in? Like this is a whole nother like werewolf subplot, and I'm just wondering like how does that fit in with the narrative?
What if the Horned King turns Gurgie into Creeper when he needs him, and then when Gurgie wants to come out, he makes an effort to transform back, and the Horned King is fine with that because he doesn't think he's a threat.
Okay, so who's going to be Who's going to be the Horned King's creepy right hand man?
I thought he was still going to be the right hand man.
Why would he make his right hand man a thing that he knows he can't trust half the time, or for some of the time? Or I mean, it's possible that he could be like he found this creature and he corrupted it because he believes that the thing is too scared to possibly betray him, right?
Right.
But I'm just wondering, like, if we've already set up that Elonwe, because I'm imagining Terran gets captured, right? And Elonwe gets him out of the Horned King's dungeon.
Mm.
And they resolve to help each other stop him.
So Creeper isn't Horned King's right hand man. He's just a minion.
Okay.
Very low down in rank.
Okay.
Very a weakling.
Okay.
Completely harmless.
All right, but when is him turning into Gurgie going to be relevant? Is he going to join them and then transform back and?
Yes. And then he's going to do something that obstructs their way to saving Henwin.
Well, they're not saving Henwin. They're stopping the Horned King from getting the Black Cauldron. And then because they don't stop him because he gets it and then uses it to destroy Whiteshire. So
it's a weird movie.
So they're gonna try and turn it off. Basically, they're gonna try and destroy it
and save Henwin. Yes. So that's where that comes in. Now, who would be the right-hand man? How about a flying smurf?
No.
How about the minstrel?
The minstrel? The minstrel is the right-hand man. Really? Uh-huh. The minstrel is the evil character cackling in the background who assists in the Horned King's maniacal plotting.
Yeah.
No, this has gotten completely off the rails. We never needed Gurgie to transform into Creeper because we don't need the character of Gurgie to begin with.
Okay.
Right.
And
okay. Wait, no, I got it. Okay, so the mercenaries are led by.
Dark Knight.
by Caldmere, a dark knight with the invincible sword.
Who's helped me?
I've just invented him.
Oh.
With the invincible
I
sword,
thought you could at least come up with a
who
name of a
has
character
tamed
who is
the
in a book.
who has tamed the who the wyverns obey. Okay. The Horned King has scarred him to mark him as his property.
In the shape of his face. Shape of a horned king.
No.
With flames coming out of it.
Okay. So
And it
Aaron
says the Horned King's minion.
Aaron sneaks into Karen. Desperate. Sneaks into the castle to rescue Henwin. He sees the ritual where the Horned King discovers the location of the well of the cauldron. The cauldron. It is in a cave guarded by a creature.
By Creeper.
No. The Aaron gets discovered by Caldmere during the ritual and placed in the dungeon for hanging time.
Hanging time. It's hanging time. It's hanging time. Get up, everybody. Now it's hanging time.
Stop it. In the cell, he meets Creeper, a goblin who was one of the Horned King's minions before
We shall have a riddle contest.
before placed in a cell with he was placed in a cell with Creeper. The goblin was one of the Horned King's minions before a witch placed a hex on him, so he turns into Gurgie. And he turns into Gurgie. When? When does he turn into it? When he would commit acts of evil.
Yes.
Way.
Wait, the witch. Could it be one of the
three fates?
three fates.
Which is the three fates. They are called the Tribunal of Leaves.
Is that a thing?
No, I just invented it.
Okay. Council of Leaves.
Tribunal of Leaves. Does that sound better?
Yeah.
Alone Way rescues. Alone Way unlock. Alone Way comes.
Wait.
To the dungeon.
And
Karen scorns her and asks if she's come to mock him.
So what's defined as an act of evil?
She unlocks him, and Creeper tells them that if they unlock him, he will show them the way out.
Yeah.
They agree, and he leads them to a side pass, leads them to a secret passage, which goes to the castle. She shows that she has stolen the invincible sword from a sleeping Haldermere.
Haldmir. You forgot the old name you made up.
I know, it's fine. We have a tense scene in which Leonway steals the invincible sword from Haldmir while his wyverns sleep beside him.
Wyverns. Moused wyvern.
Okay. Aaron decides to go back for Penwen against Creeper and Leonway's instructions, and he takes the sword. He frees Penwen and uses the sword to fight off goblin guards. Shows up and six the wyverns on him. The wyverns on him.
Sick wid.
Is it pronounced that way?
Apparently.
Spelled. He is nearly killed, and Leonway and Creeper save him with a distraction.
Hey. Ooh. So Creeper's just a good guy.
Oh no, he's an evil person forced to do good things because he doesn't want to turn into Gurgie.
Okay. What does that change?
So he's on the protagonist's side, but only temporarily.
Well, okay, and how does he get out of the curse?
How does he get out of the curse?
Yeah.
I don't know. We haven't figured that out yet.
What if the witches, the tribunal of leaves, wants their magic back?
What do you mean? Well, what if he could be like? He could offer to them that he could offer. It could be that he makes a deal that if he does something for the witches or for the Horned King, then the curse will be removed.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then Gurgie sacrifices himself before he can claim his right.
Well, I was gonna say no. In the end, the goblin decides to be good on his own. But
Oh, so
yeah,
he's gonna sacrifice Gurgie.
no. Well, yeah, he can sacrifice himself, but he does it as of his own volition.
Okay. Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah.
Well, then Gurgie doesn't have any choices. He isn't.
He's not a. Well, he's not like a character. He's like when a man turns into a werewolf. The werewolf isn't a separate character. It's more like a.
So he's just a feral monster.
What, the goblin? No,
Gurgie.
no, it would be that it could be that Gurgie is highly he's like unable to do any bad things.
Okay.
He could be like a very sweet like animal thing. He can
Oh,
still be intelligent, but he doesn't.
Mindless, but not violent.
Well, not yeah. It's impossible for him to be violent because
Yes.
he's very pacifistic and loving.
A werepuppy.
Yeah, sort of. Yes, like that. You get it. They escape out a window and into the moat, where they swim to the safety of the woods. Okay, so so actually, or maybe he shouldn't get the invincible sword yet, because it could be that the invincible sword is the only thing that can destroy the cauldron. So then they go to the tribunal, and the tribunal tells them where the sword is, and they have to go get it.
Okay. Tribunal knows where the sword is, and they have to get it.
They have to go get the sword.
So
destroy the
Haldir
cauldron.
doesn't have it.
Yeah, so Haldir would have a different weapon.
Getting your own name.
Haldmir.
Haldir. Yes.
Haldmir could have like a because the girl can have a weapon too. So like
Okay.
or no, I got it. Okay, so Haldmir Dark Knight with an axe that is on fire.
How about what if it's just a beacon to control the wyverns?
Oh yeah, with a glowing axe that the wyverns are bound by.
I was thinking more of a torch.
With the it can be a staff too.
A staff. Okay.
And steals the wyvern staff. Increase Henwen and uses a sword. Off goblin guards. When there shows him 6 delivers on him, he's gonna kill. Save him with the staff. They escape by flying off on the wyverns.
Yeah.
Okay.
The wyverns are mortal. They can be killed.
Yes, they can be killed.
But
they're not
if all the wyverns are killed, what happens to the staff?
well, it just becomes a staff. It no longer controls them.
Okay. What if when one wyvern dies, every wyvern becomes slightly more powerful?
Why are you inventing rules for like? It doesn't need to be more complicated than as long as you have the staff, these 2 wyverns must obey you. There's never going to be any other wyverns in the entire movie, so it doesn't matter.
I just think it would be a cool idea.
Creeper makes a deal with deal with Ellie only, and then that he will help them stop the Horned King, and in return, he will be given the staff. Right?
Yes.
The only thing he cares about is self-preservation.
Only in turn, but you will help him stop the Horned King. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. They fly to the cave. The cave where the cave where the cauldron it was.
Okay. Okay. And then a sacrifice happens, and the skeleton army awakens.
Well, I was thinking something like, by the time they get there, it's too late. Like, by the time they get there, the creature that was guarding it has been, like, put to sleep with, like, a sleep spell, and the cauldron has been stolen. Sleep spell? No.
Sleep spell
well,
put me to sleep, and
magic,
now I fell asleep.
If magic is going to be more mysterious than that, it doesn't have to be that, but it can be the creature was killed and the cauldron was taken.
What if there was no monster?
No, I don't think so. Well, it could also be that, it could be that the cauldron was just like at the bottom of the lake, and there was no monster, and then there can be a monster guarding the invincible sword that they have to defeat together.
Yes.
Alright, 7 minutes, turn on ties normal minutes, escape, turn 75, 50 pounds, stop food. It is at the bottom of a lake. At the bottom of a lake. A lake full of eels.
Little Mermaid eels.
Yes, Jacob. Eels with teeth. Nasty teeth. Nasty teeth eels.
Yes.
Nasty tooth eels.
Yes, nasty tooth eels. Mermaid eels.
These are tooth eels. They fly to the lake. And find it has been drained. And the cauldron is nowhere to be found.
Yes. Wait, the entire lake?
Yes. Desperate.
How big is the lake?
It's medium size.
How deep is it?
They like cut a trench, all right. So the drain,
how big is the
lake,
trench?
The lake drained. Okay, how about this?
Where does the trench lead?
They fly to the lake and find it is being drained. It is being drained, and that the Horned King is present.
Oh, what if they have to drop a sacrifice into the cauldron, and then the cauldron sucks out all the water, and then they can get the cauldron?
I think the problem here would be that they couldn't find it. Can't get past the eels. They can't get past the eels, and they can't find it.
But if they
the lake is large, so they're diverting all the water.
But if they just kept dropping sacrifices down through the lake,
Jacob,
it would
it's
eventually.
highly. Look, I like where your head is at, but I don't think that's like we would have to change the situation. It would have to be like the thing is bound by unbreakable chains or something like that. So they have to sacrifice it to break the chains. They have to sacrifice it to the cauldron to break the chains.
Okay. So you would rather they just drain the entire lake?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it seems like a type of thing
the eels
that
drown.
Yeah,
or
and then
they
the
suffocate.
eels suffocate. Yes. Yeah. And then the thing is free for them to get.
Okay. I mean, I don't want to see some poor eels die.
What's gonna happen?
They were just innocent eels.
Okay,
They were trying to
all right,
protect the cauldron.
Well, what do you want? What do you want from me? Do you want? It could be they have like a
I
giant.
don't even like this genre.
It can be that they have like a giant like crane machine that they're using to like sift through the bottom of the lake.
No, the old idea is better.
The draining.
Yeah.
Them building like a trench.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Is present. They sneak into camp and Creeper.
We forgot to do the royalty-free music again.
Okay, first, Creeper attempts to murder the Leonway for the staff. Aaron saves. Aaron saves her, and Creeper turns into Gurgie for the first time. Afterward, makes a deal with Lonnie and Aaron. And in return, they will spare his life. They set up camp in the woods. And early on, we tells Karen her story while they are sleeping. She becomes morning for the staff, but when starts making a bunch of noise.
It's the pig. And when male or female. These are the real questions we have to ask.
Sneak out onto the lake in a boat. So I said sneak wrong.
Okay, I'm going to fix all of these.
Yeah, we can fix them some other time.
No,
I'm
going to fix them right now.
Alright, done. Okay, desperate. Okay, so they sneak out onto the lake in the boat. Right? Or right? Right.
Peek out.
They find the cauldron. And the Horned King arrives on his gondola. Tells them to get it to him.
His flying gondola.
On his or he could be riding like a creature.
Yeah.
Like what would he be riding? Like a giant toad? No, that's stupid. Like a sea serpent?
Snake.
Yeah. Arrives.
A land serpent.
A kraken?
Okay, well,
it should be something that can move on land and in water.
I don't think a kraken can do that.
I know. So that's what I was thinking. Frog, or it could be like a large salamander,
or a fish with legs.
That's a thing.
No, it's called a fish with legs. There's some. A lizard. An aquatic lizard. Water skimmer.
I don't know what that is.
It's a type of insect that has water repellent feet, so it can walk on the water.
Are those the ones that jump across the thing?
Probably. It sounds. Yeah, I guess the salamander is like that.
He mocks them, and then
Loser.
and then creates a bolt of green electricity that destroys their boat.
Wait, what if the salamander drinks the lake?
They go flying into the water, and Elionwe summons the wyverns to attack the Horned King. Now, Creeper and Karen get the cauldron out of the lake. Or no, she summons the wyverns to grab the cauldron and fly off with it.
I would. Yeah. No.
The dam being used on a trench breaks while Creeper and Karen are on it.
Yeah.
And they fall into the water and are fall into the water. It looks like they will drown. One of the wyverns is killed by the Horned King, and the cauldron drops into the water. Leonwe makes the decision to save Creeper and Karen rather than get the cauldron. And is angry at this. Creeper doesn't understand it. Then, desperate, they seek out the tribunal.
The second time, they're desperate.
They do it. What do you mean the second time?
They're desperate for the second time.
You say so. They. Oh, you're sick because he was desperate and he broke into that. Okay. They. Karen succeeds at the test of his will. And they give him the sword to destroy the Horned King, who they hate.
Yeah. Wait, do you really have to say that?
Creeper makes a deal. Yes, makes a deal with them that he will return the sword to them, and they will cure him.
Okay.
Okay. Our trio.
Yeah.
They leave the forest.
Yeah, trio.
They leave the forest. Or actually, no, because if Creeper's going to betray them, then he'll make a deal with the Horned King. The Horned King is
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Wait, but he already has a plan to be cured.
Well, I'm saying he wouldn't make a deal with the lead people if he did deal with the Horned King. It could be that. Okay, so after the cauldron is taken, Creeper loses any belief in in defeating the Horned King. Leave the forest and find White Shire destroyed. Leonwe blames herself, and Taryn gathers some firewood and food. When he comes back, Creeper has turned into Gurgie, and Leonwe is playing with him. He asks what Creeper did, and then Halmir and a bunch of other guys ambush them. Alright. Take the sword. They are brought before the Horned King, who cures Creeper for their deal.
Yeah. And we totally retconned Gurgie.
Yes. Yes, we did. The sword, the Horned King takes the sword and asks if Karen would rather Lonely die or him himself. It's confusing no matter what. Would rather die or watch the Lonely die. There we go. Perpetrators of harm. Oh. Leaping into the cauldron, or?
Yes. I mean, that's what I was thinking, but how would that be betrayal?
Well, he leaps into the cauldron to end the undead magic.
Because he is good, so that turns into good magic.
No, I don't know how the cauldron works. They can explain it. The tribunal explains how the cauldron works. The tribunal explains how the cauldron works. Okay. Change the Horn King by leaping into the cauldron and ending and destroying the undead army.
Okay. That's how it happens. He's good, so he stops the dark magic.
Well, I believe that it's supposed to be that the sacrifice is required to like end the magic, the enchantment.
Oh, so it's an on switch off switch thing.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, we can explain it.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because we will explain it better than they did in the movie. We just don't have to figure out the logistics of it right now. There can be an explanation, like it's blood magic, basically.
Right, blood magic. Yeah. And then I think we focused a lot on Creeper's personality.
Yeah.
We haven't mentioned much of the rest of the characters.
You mean Eliana clearly has a personality.
Okay, so
she's guilt-ridden over what she's done.
Yeah.
She cares. She really wants to save them, and like she has like a series of like her decisions because she saves Taryn, and then or first Taryn saves her from the bandits, but she betrays him, and then she saves him from the Horned King, and then he saves her from Creeper, and so she comes to care more about him than she does about herself, and then she saves him in Creeper, and the result is that White Chair gets destroyed. So she blames herself for that, and she reaches like a point, and then like in the final act, we can have it that she like stands up and just she blames the Horned King for everything.
Well, I would expect that.
Yeah. Yes. Well, there's still personality there. It's just not as.
And Taryn?
Taryn is your average dude.
He's your average dude.
Well, it can be that Taryn starts out. So Taryn starts out wide-eyed and bushy-tailed, and he slowly becomes traumatized over the course of the story. He admits to Leonwe that he is not as brave as he needs to be. And when he thinks they will both die, he apologizes for insulting her. Multiple times he insulted her earlier. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah?
And how does it end?
So I'm imagining what I was imagining is, so he jumps into the cauldron, right, and all hell breaks loose.
Right.
No, that's part of the same line. So he jumps into the cauldron, all hell breaks loose. The sword gets dropped in the explosion.
Okay. And it stabs the Horned King.
So it gets dropped in the explosion. Taryn grabs it and uses it to break his chains. Aldmir has the wyvern attack him. Right. The sword gets dropped again. I'm imagining like Taryn defeats Aldmir and then Alonwy defeats the Horn King.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Taryn probably dies.
Wait. So Aldmir. What happened to him after he lost the staff?
Nothing happened to him. He's not bound by the staff. The wyverns are bound by the staff.
Okay.
Or it could be if you wanted.
But I assumed they would have just attacked him once he lost the staff.
The wyverns?
Yeah.
Well, it could be. Well, that's what I was thinking. Maybe is that and early on we grabs it. Taryn is dropped by the wyvern in front of Aldmir, and he uses.
Man, everyone keeps dropping the sword.
Yep.
Probably really heavy though.
Yes. Well, he drops it because he gets picked up by the wyvern. But I was thinking like he breaks the staff. And the wyvern turns on Aldmir, killing him.
Yeah.
Throwing him out a window and toward the spiked moat.
Happy ending for the wyverns. This is a positive story.
Alonwy grabs the sword in chains and tells the Horned King he is not as powerful as he thinks he is. The Horned King says she has not completed the trial of willpower, and so she will not be able to wield the sword. She disagrees and stabs him in the gut. She tears open. She cleaves the cauldron in half, and its magic starts breaking the tower apart. She and Taryn climb onto the wyvern because they were nice to it earlier.
Okay.
And fly out of the castle as it collapses. Taryn succumbs to his wounds and tells her to keep the sword. He tells her to keep everyone safe. And there we go. That's it, guys. There's nothing else.
Well,
this is an extra long episode.
Yeah, an episode of
Footnotes. Yes, thank you for watching.
Footnotes.
Thank you for watching. Hopefully this was the Black Cauldron that you all would have enjoyed.
3.
Yeah, episode 3. Hopefully this is we came up with something that was good.
Right.
Like dark, but kids could watch it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look forward to
look forward
episode 4.
to episode 4. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day. And if you have any suggestions as to how you would do the Black Cauldron, feel free to comment.
That's what this is all about.
Yes, thank you. It's an interchange of ideas. So thank you for watching, and have a nice day.